Morning, and welcome to the Board of Wisdom. Today we're going to talk about the inner works of $1 million content system. And we're going to cover two main areas. The first area is conversion follows conviction. I'm actually going to show you, but don't tell anyone, how to convert $15,000 coaching and consulting packages through voice notes, which is a beautiful thing to have. Plus the system and the AI agents that we currently use in order to achieve pretty amazing results using content. As always, we have our trusty espresso shot. Today we're sponsored by Davidoff, number 15. It's a dark and chocolatey espresso shot. And yeah, let's have some fun. Actually, I started recording this and I forgot to turn my mic on, which is a pretty beginner move. Look, let me start off by saying that I'm not a business coach, I'm not a content coach, I'm not a content expert, nor do I know how to go viral. I'm a consultant who gets paid to help clients, and then I share my insights through content, and the people who see those insights, if they want to go deeper with me, they pay me and they go deeper with me. That's my entire content strategy from the beginning of the video. Cool? So if you expect to learn how to go viral, I'm not gonna really help you here. But what I'm gonna help you is to see how we do things differently. Because while everyone in the market is talking about strategy, plans, templates, some people are talking about AI agents to help you with ideating content and content production. Some other people are telling you, let me write your content for you. We're gonna talk about something completely different. Because if that were true, and if that were what you needed, actually let's choose a pen so we could highlight things. If that were what you needed, you would already be making $1 million from your content already. But you're not. Because a lot of times we diagnose a problem thinking that it's actually the problem, but it's not. In my world, I had two clients who generated over 1 million views for their YouTube channels. I have clients who have hit 1,623% increase in reach, which is like tremendous. I have another client who signed a multiple 7-figure contract in cash plus revenue from his her micro audience, 3,000 followers. Wow. And this system has provided me with a ton of peace of mind. I used to write content for 2 hours a day. Now it takes me 15 minutes, and on weekends I just delete socials and I don't do anything about it. So if you're new here and you want to dive deeper into the world of hitting 7 figures by doing less and focusing only on the right needle movers that will get you there, there's a link down below where you join my newsletter. Every morning you'll wake up and I'll have shared with you personally, I write those every single morning, an insight from working with the top leaders in the industry. So you just get it straight to your inbox. Insights that people have paid $18,000, $20,000 for. Enjoy. Now, let's get on with it and let's have some fun. Again, let me check, is my mic recording? Awesome, thank God. So, as you can see, there is kind of this interlinking arrows between the inner work of content and the system, because one does not work without the other. You need both. So it's very important to understand how things work at a very deep level, internally, energetically, understanding how your vibe attracts your tribe, how your energy is going to connect with people at a much deeper level than the things that you say. But it's also very important to know how to add things up. When to post, what to post, how to post, kind of the posting structure and the content structure. So, without further ado, conversion follows conviction. And that's the key to content and offers that convert, but to also having a magnetic business that people are just energetically drawn to. There's a quote that I love and I lived my entire life based on. And I built my entire first business that I exited later from that quote, which is, if you have great product, all that you need to sell it is to show it to people. If you have a shitty product, to sell it, you need to build systems, to say the right words, to have marketing campaigns. You need to make sure that your copy is optimized for conversion, and you overcomplicate it so much. So for us, it's very important that we have a great product. And as a coach, as a consultant, you are the best product for your business. People buy people. Before frameworks, before templates. Anyway, I have a friend who sells $15,000 mindset coaching packages. It's not a one-on-one, it's a group intensive experience. Sells out every single month on average, and he has the highest caliber of people working with him. I wish that I got his consent to actually share the people that worked with him, but without naming names, they are some of the biggest people in the industry, in any industry. So in men's development, like the biggest name that you can think of in men's development is his client, okay? In the dating niche, they're his client. From D1 athletes to top sales leaders, by the way, like one of the biggest sales leaders that you see everywhere online is his clients. To the top coaches and consultants, those people are his clients. Now here's where it gets interesting. I want to tell you how he sells those packages. First things first, he does long 10-minute plus Instagram reels. 10-minute plus Instagram reels. Sometimes his Instagram reels reach 13 to 14 minutes. People go to his profile after watching like a 10-minute reel, which is not going to go viral in any way, shape, or form. And they click on the link, and this link takes them to a Dropbox with a 37-minute voice note. Cool? So his offer looks like a 10-minute video. So this is a video taking people to a link, taking people to a voice note that is 37 minutes. Have you ever heard of a funnel that looks like this? Have you ever heard of an optimal conversion strategy that looks like this? No. And by all means, every single business guru or expert is going to look at this and they're going to say like, what the fuck are you doing here? Like, what is this? But what happens is that people message him and buy directly. He sells out his offer every single month. Last month, by the way, this post that I'm reading right now, I wrote it 2 months ago. Last month, he sold out a $75,000 coaching package using this strategy. Cool. He doesn't have a posting schedule or a studio to record from. He doesn't use any psychological tricks, no funnels, no nothing. So how does someone with such a primitive funnel sell more than 90% of his competitors? I've seen that with myself too, and that's the big question. Where the most random, non-scripted, non-systematized offer just sold. Really. Actually, let me show you something. I want to lead by example, so please let me show you something. I'm going to pause it for a second. So what you're looking at right now is the document of the invisible edge, okay? While most of the market is writing offer document and heavily conversion-based documents, I wrote this document, which is, I think, let's see how many pages, 10 pages. 10 pages explaining what the invisible edge is. Cool? I launched it last month. It sold out. Literally, like right now, it's closed. It sold out last month. A 10-page document, while everyone is optimizing for conversions, optimizing for saying the right things at the right time, at the right moment, I was able to sell out a program within a 10-page document. This is where the principle of conversion follows conviction comes into play. Where everywhere you go online, you see people telling you like there's this strategy, there's this business model, there's this principle, there's this framework that we used to change. What I focus on, and the people at my level and at my friends' level focus on, is much deeper. It's conviction. How much love and power and energy are you giving the work that you're doing, and how deep are you convinced that you're one of the best at what you do? And this is what the entire coaching industry has really messed up. While you have the majority of the industry moving towards cosmetic, funnel structures, content schedules, ad systems, low ticket models, we forget that our brains are much more primitive than that. We make decisions based on energy and intuition long before we make a decision logically. Look at here, if you're watching this video till now, like this video is not structured. Like I tried to put some structure here, but I made a shit ton of mistakes. And probably you've picked that up, but still, you're watching this. Because you don't make decisions based on the logic. You don't make decisions based on what he said and how he said it and when he said it. You make a decision based on the energy. You make a decision when you see someone and you're like, I want to know what he's up to because there's something that moves me towards him. There's something that magnetically attracts me towards him. We feel others. And if you've been in a great relationship, you know exactly what I mean when you can feel the other person's energy even before they said a word. While business models and structures do work, and we're going to talk about them in a second, they are not what makes this work. Business models, structures, funnels, ideas, which are all things that we've developed for our clients over the last decade, are things that are built on the surface, are kind of your building that is built. But there's the ground, there's what's beneath the surface. That's what matters. That's what matters. While you could fix your offer, polish it, model the winners as much as you want. If you are not 100% aligned to the work that you're doing, believing that it's the best for the client, it won't work. We've seen that many times where I personally modeled, like, I lead with example, by the way, like I don't hide anything. In the past decade, I've made every single mistake that you can imagine. Even like after building and exiting my business and building multiple other successful businesses, I've made so many mistakes that it's disgusting. One of them is that I modeled a piece of content from someone else or an offer from someone else because, well, it converted for them. So why wouldn't it convert for me? And it didn't work. Or even when I repurposed one of my old winning posts and it just doesn't land. We even see that with people who do everything, and no matter how much they try, and no matter how much they invest, and no matter how much they work, things just don't stick. Things just don't work. It's not really rocket science. It's simply energy and intuition. Because everything that you're doing, this is the external work. This is the strategic work. This is when you put the building blocks together of your building. But if the foundation is not solid ground, your building cannot stand. When someone is congruent with everything he does, online and offline, when someone only shares what he believes in 100%, not to please the audience, but to share the truth, when someone loves the work he does and he shows up every day because it feels like fun to him, he emits a high frequency energy and people want to be around him. You can't explain it, but you can't help but read his content, watch his video and pay attention. He doesn't need to hook you in. You just know that it's coming from him is going to be great. He doesn't need to make an interesting offer with his pricing models. You just know that he's selling something powerful. Actually, let me give you a small live example. A while ago, I invested into someone who made a very enticing offer. And the copy was great and everything was great. And I made the mistake and I'm like, I fell into what other people's fall into. And I invested into him. And he took me to his AI platform. And I started like playing around with the AI platform. I'm like, this is the shittiest type of coaching that I've ever seen. This is the shittiest type of consultancy that I've ever seen. I fell into what we call an incongruency of work, where someone made so much effort to promote something on the front end, but he didn't have the back end to back it up. This is what I mean here. If someone needs to hook you in, if someone needs to push you, if someone needs to tell you what needs to be done in this interaction, that raises a big flag. The person who's magnetic doesn't need to make an interesting offer with pricing models. And that's why he tends to get the best clients. The ones who are aligned with him, his values, and his way of operating. Again, this document isn't optimized for conversions. And yet, it has generated me some of the best clients that I've ever worked with in my life. Clients who are referring people to me, clients who are pushing people to me, clients who are getting newer and newer people into my world because of that. Because they bought into me, not the version of me that I showed. They bought into my truth. And that's the cornerstone of it all. That's the foundation before any model, system, or strategy. Conversion follows congruence. Conversion follows conviction. Conversion follows energy. And that's why a broken funnel can outperform a perfect one every single day of the week and twice on Sundays. This is why a guy with an extremely bad funnel, an extremely bad content strategy, 10-minute reels, what the fuck? That leads them to a link in the profile and then a 30-minute, 7-minute voice note. He was able to sell multiple $15,000 packages, and lately he sold a $75,000 yearly package. That's why. So 2 questions to ask yourself and to answer truthfully. Are you being yourself or as you wish to be seen? Second question is, are you convincing yourself of your solution as much as you're convincing others? And if you answer those questions truthfully and you realize that in your content you're trying to convince others of the value of the thing that you're doing, that means that you personally have a lack of conviction in the things that you have presented, and you're trying to polish it with more strategy, where people are sick of more strategy. People want real depth. People want real power in their work. Here's an example. I'm gonna lead with examples as much as you want. This is a Facebook post that I wrote today that I'm gonna come out with. Look at how long this Facebook post is. I'm gonna show you others. Look at how long this post is over here. Can you see it? Let me show you another one. Look at this post. This is a shorter one for sure. Let me show you another. Look at how long this post is. Now you see all of those posts, none of them are optimized for conversions. If you go to my, if you go to my Instagram and you see my reels, none of them are optimized for virality conversions or whatever it is. And yet they have generated me the most amount of clients that I've ever had at any given moment. Why? Conversion follows conviction. If you are not 100% aligned and convinced in the work that you're doing, it's going to be very hard to lie to people, and it's going to feel that you're lying to yourself. So before you go watch other videos around the best content system, the best AI model, the best whatever it is, sit down with yourself and ask yourself, what am I hiding from? What am I trying to persuade the audience that I am not convinced of? Answer those. It's going to take you a very, 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 very long way within your business. Now, here we talked about the operator. When I work with people, I work on 2 aspects. I work on the person himself and the business. I work on the person's beliefs, identity, and everything within him, and then I work on the business. And because of that, we're able to build a pretty good, stable business that scales consistently. Not because I'm a magical business coach. I'm not even a business coach, but I'm someone who understands how identity reflects back into business, and I know how to merge both. Now, let's talk about the system. The system philosophy, my content system philosophy. This, what you're reading here in front of you, has made me more money than, anything that I've ever tried in the past. And it has generated me more leads than anything I've tried in the past. This system, it created some posts that were extremely unoptimized, and they got me 250 leads from one post using this system. And here's this extremely advanced system. Do the work, get results from doing the work. Cool. which is magic. Standardize this result. So let's say hypothetically you did the work and you were able to improve your health coach. You were able to improve your testosterone levels from 600 to 800 naturally. You create a document explaining how and what you did and your entire protocol. Cool? That's what I mean by standardize the results. You show those results online. You tell people, hey, I went from 600 to 800 testosterone naturals. Sorry, my tongue twisted. Testosterone levels naturally. If you want something similar, just tell me and I'll send it over. And people will want it, so you send it over and you sign clients from it. Magical, yeah? Wow. Look at this video right here. The one that I'm recording right now. It's like, we've gotten some mind-blowing results with our content system by going the completely unconventional way. Rather than focusing on systems, strategies, paths, and whatever it is, we focused heavily on the energy behind the content and who the person is, and does the person lead in his content, etc., etc., etc. And by doing that, we were able to generate beautiful results. So I'm documenting it and I'm showing it to you. Do you remember the quote that I started with, which is, the best products do not need marketing. You just need to show them. The shittiest products need a lot of marketing, a lot of pampering, a lot of strategies, a lot of copywriting just to make them look good. So if every day you open up your computer and you read those 5 sentences over here, and you think to yourself, okay, what is something that I've done lately? Awesome. What results did it get? Awesome. How can I show people those results? How can I share with people what I've done? It's going to serve you much more than any AI agent that you have ever used. Cool? Now, we personally use AI agents. And here's why. When you've been doing this long enough and you have a lot of clients, for me, on like a random week, I have a minimum of 5 hours with clients. Now, what happened in those 5 hours with clients is that it's completely intuitive. So we sit down with clients one-on-one. I don't do group stuff or whatever it is, and I just help them go through and navigate whatever they're experiencing and whatever problems they have, whatever system problems or identity problems that they have. Now, within those 5 hours, there are a lot of insights that I do not really pick up on. I say them naturally, I flow through them naturally, everything like just comes out normally, cool? But I don't consciously pick up on them. Like a lot of times within client sessions, I feel like I'm in a trance and I'm just there with the person. So what I do is I use an AI agent. Oof, that's a very bad eye. By the way, do you know that I was gonna become a doctor? And part of the reason of my very bad handwriting is that. We're gonna convince ourselves that that was true. So, I use an AI agent to go through all of the call transcript. So, call. And then it comes up with all of the insights and it feeds me back the insights. A lot of them that I might have missed. Cool? This is one of the agents that we use. Another one of the agents that we use is this. What I do usually is I create long form content. So my main platforms are my newsletter, Facebook, which get repurposed, okay, and YouTube. So right now this video is going to be turned into a text for YouTube and my newsletter, okay? Now for me to do that manually, it takes a lot of time. So another agent goes to my YouTube, transcribes it, transcribes the video, and then it turns it into a text. My words, my ideas, everything intact, and I of course polish it, but it does that for me. Now, A lot of times I don't use this agent and I do it manually. And this is kind of the beauty of the work, which is the more strict you are with your business, the more systems and protocols and like this is how it should be in your business, the harder it is for you to keep it up. So I keep it very playful and very malleable. This morning I just sat down and I wrote this post as it is, by hand. Didn't do anything, by hand, literally I wrote this post, every single line of it. It wasn't a video that got transcribed. So depends on intuition, depends on the vibe, depends on everything. And then I turned this into more short form content. So I turned this video into multiple Instagram reels that talk about principles within the video. And then from there, people go and they sign up to my newsletter and they get redirected to longer form trainings and longer form YouTube videos. So another one of my agents, so that's the first agent, that's the second agent. Another one of my agents is, it takes the YouTube video and it gives me the key insights and key moments that I could then turn into Instagram Reels. So rather than hiring an editor and they have to go through the entire process from A to Z themselves, cool? What happens is that I just sit down and I did one big piece of work. It studies it, it reads it, it understands everything, and then it gives me multiple reels from it. That's how simple it gets, really. But all of that works only when this works. If you're someone who's incongruent, if you're someone who's lying to himself, if you're someone who's hiding, if you're someone who believes that he's not good enough, if you're someone who's a people pleaser, if you're someone who's always hiding behind the truth, no matter how much of this we do, none of it will work. And if it works, it will work a little bit and then it will break. Because you haven't fixed the right problem. It's like this person who's obese. Really, like, I want you to think about it, because I was 120 kilograms when I was 15. I was extremely obese, cool? And then I lost like 25 kilograms of weight, which made me one of the top in men's physique. If you're someone obese, you could try, like you could take pills, you could take supplements, you could take whatever it is, which all work to a certain degree. But if you didn't learn how to just fix your relationship with food, move your body, eat less than you burn, everything that you do is going to be a supplement to the thing that works. And if the thing that works isn't there, the supplements will not help you. Systems, strategies, AI agents, AI bots, those are supplements. Those are the diet pills that people take before they go and they pound an entire half a kilogram of French fries. So yeah, that's the inner work of $1 million content system. Now you might be asking another question, which is, if this is happening here, like how do I understand the psychology behind the audience? Like what to talk about, what to focus on? Like I could talk about a trillion things. Like, so what is it that I could talk about? What is it that I would focus on? I'm gonna leave a link, or hopefully if I get YouTube right in some way, shape or form, like on the screen here, a link to a video where I explain in detail the psychology behind each stage of your funnel and the psychology behind each piece of content. So you know exactly what to say when you say it to get the most ideal output from your audience. Cool. Just click it, enjoy it, and that's all for today. Here's a quick sip of espresso and I'll see you.